man, I feel like here from TSM, the respect to the new mid laner.
And getting to talk to APA a little bit, was sending him messages, kind of getting his feel for this. It feels really good for him that the team is willing to go with some of his niche picks, some of his comfort picks here, and let him lead from a position of strength. I think here with the LeBlanc, it'll be a bar of execution for sure, but something that APA can absolutely rise to the occasion with. We get the insta lock-in of the Kaisa there for TSM.
Yeah, the Kaisa is so popular as the answer into LeBlanc ever since the emergence of the static shiv. We get this matchup over and over and over. So TSM well aware. They ban away the Ziggs. They leave LeBlanc up with the Kaisa pick ready to answer.
A little bit of bias there from the fan sign, just saying. The Rakan.
That's the whole point of being a fan.
Being biased? Are you sure?
Yeah, that's what it means to be a fan.
I don't know about that one. I'll have to get the research on it. We do get that Rakan, though, speaking of research, something very strong and something that gives Chime that duality of the engage, but as well as the peel ability.
Yeah. All right, I'm a fan just for good League of Legends. You know, I just want to see good games.
The best League of Legends in the world.
Everybody wins.
Right here.
Everybody wins when I'm up here casting with my bud.
Hey, yeah, it doesn't matter.
All right, please lock that in.
That would be awesome.
I do like the Poppy here, though. We haven't seen quite as much Poppy as other regions, but it's still so good as a flex pick with jungle, with top, and with being able to get you that advantage towards these neutral objectives that have been so critical early on if you're able to get a good Poppy ultimate out.
Yeah, something I love in the LPL specifically is Poppy, but more so how they path early on the Poppies. It's something I always try to keep an eye out for. I know Pyosik will have a good time with that. And we get the Nocturne there for Bugi.
Plus, it's also just simply good into what you're already showing from TSM. Kaisa, Rakan, as well as even the Nocturne that gets locked in afterwards, all with those dashes. And the Nocturne combination with Nico is something we talked about earlier in the day as well. But Nocturne with any engage, you know, anything like Kennen as well, lots of things that really benefit from these multi-layered engages with the cover of darkness that Nocturne is able to bring for you. You know one thing's for sure, it's going to be an aggressive look from TSM with that pick, trying to get the dives off.
One thing happens whenever you turn off the lights, and it is that things get a little chaotic. And we'll see if TSM can have a light switcher there. We do have our second phase kicking off here, though. Of our bans, we get the Renekton and the Malphite.
And the Renata ban, because TSM are showing full dive already in 1, 2, 3, they're just trying to take out any sort of other counter dive opportunities. They already are playing dive into a Poppy, which is a little bit rough, but playing dive into a Poppy and a Renata would be really, really hard, having to deal with that ultimate that's so good at counter engage. So two pretty good counter engage support bans here from TSM to try and help them out comp-wise.
And I think that is the biggest thing. I was talking a little bit to APA, specifically very excited to face off against Insanity. It's a little bit surreal to see them facing off against each other, guys who know each other very well and message so often. But particularly the fact that we have a little bit of flexibility being played through here for TSM, right? Kaisa is something we've seen flexible now in the meta. And with that Ashe lock-in, that does mean we get a little bit of spice here for game number 3.
I always love some bottom lane utility to go with dive teams like this. WildTurtle has really been excellent all split long for TSM. Him and Insanity pairing as a very reliable duo carry. And even though Ashe has lower DPS than a lot of the other bot lane champs, the priority of the arrow to really set up a lot of these dives, as well as the hawk shot, to ensure that Bugi's going to be a level 6 Nocturne as quick as possible, tracking enemy jungle, and coming in for those plays is definitely going to be some good synergy. But on the side of Team Liquid, I feel like they're getting a lot of power picks here, some sort of steals. Rell can also be pretty good as counter engage. While the Q is really annoying and slow with the cast time, is my only hiccup with the champion. The ultimate is fast, and you can cast ultimate during anything else. So it's you know, you can combo it with anything, and does make her job of peeling that much more effective.
We got the Cassiopeia finally locked in there for TL.
Top cast,
so
or
it could
top
be the top
LeBlanc.
cast. But APA is also a dirty cast. All right,
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
That's why we could do either of these two champs top. And LeBlanc top actually has a lot of fun builds. You can even go like slightly tanky LeBlanc. Saw a couple of like Iceborne topside LeBlanc, so really curious to see here how Summit is going to be able to prioritize that. And I feel like Team Liquid are kind of emboldened and following in those footsteps of Dignitas laying the groundwork, saying, you know what, Rich, pick any aggressive matchup that you want in the top lane. Now Summit is also really being given that freedom, and he has been up there at the top of the rankings for LCS top laners this split as well. The only downfall of Summit is, of course, what we've always known from him ever since he was here on Cloud9, has been getting isolated kills. He is currently tied for most isolated deaths in the LCS up in the top lane. Yes, top laners are most often isolated, but Summit also is very much prone.
LCS Summer Playoffs, TSM, if they take the win, if they try to upend Team Liquid and delay that, they will at least lock themselves in a tiebreaker for the Summer Playoffs. We're getting under game way 3. For now, it is Team Liquid on the blue side, TSM on the red side, and we're about to have a little bit of fun.
We've got early contact. Visual
Not the same
confirmation.
level 1 that we got in first game, all right? Not the crazy 5-on-5, but it is something that's, for both these teams, a step off in the right direction, right? And especially when you look at the come up of developing players within the LCS, coming up from an ACL, it's just awesome to see our track record and a lot of these guys coming in, making their names seen, right? Like Insanity had come in earlier in the split, but he has now the starting spot, right? APA came in and smashed everybody in his first weekend, and he's continuing to bounce from strength to strength. And these two mid laners are gonna be super key today.
Love it. Mid lane matchup hype, and then we've got top lane picks like the top lane LeBlanc here for Summit. And while he is tied for first in isolated deaths at 15 in the top lane with Solo, now on the mobile LeBlanc, I really want to see if Team Liquid can, allow him to really flourish up there, because he does start out every game playing really aggressively. He's oftentimes extremely good in the early lane phase and getting some leads. It's just later where those deaths do start to come in.
And I think that's where the path for Summit has been so interesting as well. When you look at his time on Team Liquid, but you look at his time previous in the LCS, and then when he went back over to the LPL and was playing on FPX, you had a lot of those same things bubbling up as the season went on. It was just a strong strength at top lane until you start focusing that. But here in this matchup, it makes things a little bit different.
Yeah, and he's making good use of the longsword start here. Any ranged melee matchup, trying to use the brush on top side here to fully harass Hauntzer. And even though Hauntzer got the ward into the secondary brush that's closer to him, takes a massive trade there from Summit off the distortion and all of the autos. So gonna work through a lot of the Ornn sustain early on. Summit will definitely continue to have push up here on the top side, but it looks like Pyosik is finishing bottom side and just gets seen by this ward.
So we had both junglers start on the bottom side, maybe trending up towards top lane, up towards mid, but this is something I wanted to see from the Poppy. Any kind of unique pathing you can do, any kind of early aggression, the skirmishing will be huge.
Yeah, and you usually want to throw some early ganks towards mid lane Kaisas when they're most vulnerable here. Try and burn the flash. But because Pyosik was seen on the bottom side ward, because he opted for the route of that red quadrant clear into running through river past bottom, they knew he was coming. Insanity doesn't expose himself to any early gank, and Pyosik will follow the Nocturne through, trying to track Bugi. It is costing Pyosik a bit in farm as...
Oh, a little bit of trade back and forth, but there's that early aggression and pace setting for Pyosik over Bugi.
Thing with Krugs is that actually a lot of the golds, majority of the gold is in the smaller Krugs too.
Baby ones.
So getting those smaller ones is critical. The bigger part though, of course, is pushing the Nocturne out of jungle, and now he can just take the red without having to use Smite, no problem for him.
And we also have a situation where, looking at team compositions, right, you do have a lot of forward momentum available for TSM. They have a little bit of safety, and Hauntzer getting some scaling for them. But I'm particularly looking at TL, and my goodness, their team comp gets scary as time goes on. And I think it's going to be something where maybe Summit has a bit different, but the other four for them will be a very potent team fight.
Yeah, like we said pretty early on in Champ Select, TSM are showing full dive. And so I think Team Liquid did a good job drafting enough counter engage for themselves in the Poppy and the peeling of the Rell here, plus Cassiopeia coming in as that late pick, flexing the LeBlanc to top side. Cassiopeia ult, always amazing in those.
Oh, he tried to get him into the wall. Can't do it.
That was so close to hitting him into the turret. What the heck? He went right, scraped by the front of it. Wow.
Kaisa's too quick. What do you got to say? Come on.
Yeah.
It is barely a little bit of a gank going wide. Pyosik, but We'll see if that revisit comes there. They didn't burn the flash. They didn't have any tools down.
Yeah. Look at how close this is, because
I gotta look at this
definitely a
again.
very good angle for Pyosik.
No, he went through it!
I'm tilted if I'm
confused.
Pyosik. WTF, that shield on the front of the tower doesn't count as tower structure, apparently.
That's almost as tilting as the Tristana Jace combo that can happen in the rocket jump. There's a couple things.
Kaisa is pretty skinny, but I don't know about that skinny. Insanity, though, very happy with the interaction there, as he doesn't have to burn flash, and he gets out of it no problem. Also, though, Poppy not too unhappy. Almost all Poppies will take your Hex Flash, and so just going to have repeated creative angles there from Pyosik. Meanwhile, it was the early recall for Bugi, so he has the small lead of the longsword. But knowing that Pyosik is at topside and Hauntzer gets the stop on recall here, they know Pyosik cannot come contest Dragon, so I like this confirmation from TSM. They track him all the way into his own jungle there, and they know they'll be able to get the objective out of it.
And nice use of movement there, as well as the combination of the bot lane, WildTurtle and Chime. And I think, we take a look at Hauntzer getting out of here, this wet noodle fight. I guess it's like a strong noodle versus not a strong noodle. That's a solo! And the fade away from the flash. First blood for Team Liquid.
Yeah, LeBlanc, top lane LeBlanc here, gonna have a pretty quick shiv. Definitely love the spice. Perfect timing on bringing in that tweet as well. No wet noodles found. No tank on the side of Team Liquid. They're going to run that through. And I want to see, is he going to get a turret plate up there too? Because it's a really big minion wave. So Summit's going to get rich. Yeah, turret plate as well. The cannon goes down. Pyosik is back for attempt number 2.
Try to find something there, but it has to find the right angle here. Not even going to go for the tower this time, potentially. Knowing how it didn't go his way last, but it is still strength being put through the mid lane for Team Liquid. And Insanity, he's trying to get out, does have the step back presence there, but it's still a flash from APA to make sure the fangs sink deep.
Nice. Flash miasma from APA to make sure Insanity can't flash afterwards. Even though the tower does not give them the stun the first time, you called it. They don't even rely on that.
Just can't rely on that anymore, Kobe.
Go for the full dive.
Fluid.
They get it done themselves. Now the attempt at the answer through mid, but I think the full wave gets pushed in. APA, as low as he is, shoves in the full wave. Man. Cannon dies at tower. It's working down the other plate. That is beautiful stuff for Team Liquid. Massive early gold lead off of this, and they're very happy to see that, considering they had to give up that early dragon.
And they'll actually contest with the scuttle. They get it, but WildTurtle and Yeon, they're the big ones in this fight. Although Pyosik just gets focused down by TSM, that's a kill back and a response by TSM.
Yeah, good flash there from Bugi. He knows Pyosik does not have flash on the Poppy off of trying to pressure mid so often with it. So he flashes over the back of the dragon wall here to make sure he can get the fear onto the enemy jungler and get a kill back.
And I think looking at that bot lane a little bit more, a big interest for me has also obviously been Yeon and Core's connection. A lot of the mentoring from CoreJJ to Yeon, but Chime on the other side, man. I was talking about him earlier. I think he's been such a good voice for this TSM roster, but he's also speaking to it before the match. The biggest thing he feels like has built their confidence is it's just the boys. It's a bare bones crew, and they feel like they're going against the money teams, and it gives them that confidence, the chip on their shoulder they love to work with.
True, true. Kind of the bad news bears effect. They've got nothing to lose. They're playing so well there. TSM only a game behind Team Liquid, but right now gonna have to deal with a pretty decent sized gold deficit, and it's gonna get bigger as the Rift Herald is getting pushed down pretty quickly. That eyeball pop should be enough, and Team Liquid increase the gold lead here, picking up the Rift Herald for some turret plate usage as well. Support double recalls.
Oh, there's the light switch we were talking about in the draft. Oh, nice little petrifying gaze, though. APA gets Bugi back, and it's a 1-for-1 trade. I will say, Insanity picking up that kill is big for TSM. Yeah,
he got, Cassio got the ultimate off before he goes down, but yeah, Insanity getting some money here could be the hopes for TSM. 1-for-1. Supports made good on their recalls. They make good on their mid lane play. CoreJJ's got level 6, so Chime has to be a little bit worried here. He's running from the Rell, so it takes a little bit of damage from Yeon to get back to bottom side here, and CoreJJ does have ult advantage.
Here. Trying to get the flash out of Chime. Does end up getting it, but a return. That grand entrance hits, and that's a different story in this 2v2. Nice chasing him down. You're going to get some nice little poke here for WildTurtle, putting some pressure on the 2v2 in bot lane. Summit has found out Bugi, but will also be found out by Hauntzer, just looking to put the pressure. Oh my goodness! The Moonlight Vigil got blocked as well by, in front of him, Chime, and TSM's bot lane. They come away with a 2v2 win.
And they have deep wards in the jungle to see Pyosik coming so they don't overchase. This TSM bottom lane has been so reliable. Turtle and Chime. Top side though, Summit is burning.
Hauntzer wants it. He says, you can't push me that hard without getting punished. The flash comes out from Summit.
Yeah, Summit was scared about the flash follow-up brittle here from Hauntzer, so he flashes early to make sure it doesn't come through. LeBlanc starting to sweat a little bit there.
I'm just saying, I saw Hauntzer working away at the basketballs in the break room there. He's just looking to land those shots with the Ornn.
Yeah, whenever you've got the spellbook Ignite from Ornn, you have the possibilities of getting your all-in, and does get a little bit out of him, but Pyosik, nice time on the stun.
I just love that both of them kind of CC each other at the same time, but Bugi, he doesn't have any help here, and APA finds a helping hand to give Summit the second kill of his.
Classic jungler Scuttlecry fight, because what really matters is your teammates. Both solo lanes there for Team Liquid mean that even though Bugi gets the Scuttle Crab, Bugi loses his life. And APA on this Cassio pick has been so big. Again, Team Liquid trusting him with one of these picks, flexing the LeBlanc up to top side. Now he's on the run from Chime though.
And this is a pick that he's been willing to pull out, right? He's even had, as of recent memory, a lot of incredible late game moments on this, but it's something that they can have confidence that this guy can carry as we get to late game, right? And he's already got those 2 kills. He's already building up a lot of scaling advantage for himself. While we do have the static shift there for Insanity, the push can get a little bit bigger for TSM.
All right, meanwhile, back bottom lane, we've got a Nocturne ultimate for Bugi, and TSM looking to start up Dragon on that advantage. Dragon number 2 should go their way as we've got a recall timing for APA. Bottom lane is pushed in. So good groundwork done for TSM to get the Dragon, but they pay the price on top side.
Hauntzer will try to get out. He already burned the flash, though. I'm pretty sure he wasn't able to get over there. And that will just be a side lane pick and another one going to Summit.
So really good groundwork laid by TSM to get the objective on bottom side, but they don't play the weak side correctly there. Hauntzer out away from his turret gets picked off, and Team Liquid, even though they give up another Dragon, they further increase the gold lead. Shelly's gonna get off another charge on top side as well to help out the static shift. LeBlanc with the split pushing.
Got another charge goes through, and Summit is running away with this side lane. LeBlanc has been such an influential side laner now with the static shift builds, but when you get a lead like this, you have to be able to continue pushing that, right? I do want to see Summit continue being a side lane threat as they take yet another tower. That's both in the top lane, and now Summit's unlocked.
Certainly is. Very rich, should be the richest in the game. Yep, richest person in the game.
He's got double gold.
Yep.
He's got double gold over Hauntzer right now.
All right, and it's a Night Harvester follow-up.
That combo, the second item spike with the Night Harvester is ridiculous.
The static shiv proc, the Night Harvester proc. All right, Summit, let's see it. In the next fight, the only player with 2 fully completed items, and you're completely free now that you've taken both towers on top side for Team Liquid to try and set up a play there. He's roaming down to bottom first, but everybody from TSM has already vacated.
And that was when we were coming into it. I was talking to you a little bit about the difference in priority that TSM typically play around. Hauntzer's kind of on an island up here. I don't think it's any different on the Ornn this time around, but the fact that Team Liquid were willing to try to attack that in this game, in a game that's so pivotal for them, it's just awesome to see.
Yeah, and Team Liquid, again, they have the highest average gold lead in the early game in the LCS at 15 minutes. It's 2,390 gold lead on average for them. So they are actually above their average in this game thus far, and we're not even at 15 minutes. In order to get there, of course, they did sacrifice a couple dragons, so you always have to keep in mind the other objectives, the other part of the map that you're giving up. But TL always invest in, Rift Herald money plays and diving plays and Insanity.
No, Insanity, run away! I don't think he's getting out of this one. There's the light switch by Bugi. Is it enough? They're coming in for the engage. Look at that! Bloody nature by TSM. It's still Insanity going down. It's a nice trade back as Summit gets shut down, actually, going to Hauntzer. But you got CoreJJ there, re-engage on the other side. Pyosik in low, but APA sinks his teeth in once again.
Oh, this Cassio Miasma is doing so much work for them. APA comes over, flash used, ult used. Yeon trying to get a little bit more here as they exit from the bottom side, and it's 2 kills over to Team Liquid. Only Summit down for their side. Another big play. 4.2K, the gold lead, well above average. They go for another one of the dive plays. Insanity has to use his ult early and his flash here, but he's still in range for the chain. Then the team comes in for the peel. Chime and Bugi do arrive to try and peel, and Summit does eventually get isolated here, and Hauntzer is able to nail him with the ultimate. But that's going to be the only kill that they get, because look at Pyosik. He charges Turtle over to the side into the waiting arms of APA, who lays down the miasma and opens up that escape route for Pyosik to get out alive. So they only drop 1 in their efforts, and Team Liquid, they're back on another Rift Herald.
They are indeed, and they're just taking away a lot of this early gold from TSM. And I think looking a little bit more introspectively at APA, it's been such an awesome journey. It's been one of the coolest kind of grassroots journeys I feel like we've had in the LCS in a long time. And knowing him from his days back when I was casting him in Risen, going for the Ace Souls, that was his 100% pick, but he's grown so much. And the fact that on this team that was already so centered on a leadership standpoint, he's able to come in and influence the way they play the game. It's been a nice, refreshing feel for Team Liquid.
Yeah, it really has. Given this team an entirely new look, breath of fresh air. Meanwhile, he's now in the bottom side versus a very underfed Ornn. So pretty easy punching bag there for Cassiopeia.
A little bit.
Conquer Cassiopeia.
That's what he's looking for.
Exactly. There we go. Let's pump those DPS numbers up. Free damage under tower. There we go. Honestly, though, has such a free time down there versus Ornn. The only thing is he doesn't have flash, so if you get Nocturne ulted, then maybe something comes around, and that might be the plan for TSM. Look at them coming down the lane. No flash here for APA.
There it is. Let's see if Hauntzer can hit that bucket shot. He does. And it should be Bugi picking him up. Shut down over to Bugi. And now the 3 for TSM, looking for more.
Can TL get anything out of this, though? TSM just used their ultimate.
Yeon has red-white. He could be looking to fight. They're going to go ahead and start up this dragon, though.
Yeah, TSM did invest Ashe Arrow, Nocturne ultimate, Ornn ultimate. Pyosik gets stunned on the bottom side. Here come the rest of the members. Teleport in.
All right, Insanity coming down, but WildTurtle just gets solo boloed by Summit. They should be able to respond, though. They cannot pressure him enough, and Insanity will get the kill. Meanwhile, a pick off onto Hauntzer.
Yeah, Team Liquid, now they've bought enough time for APA to respawn. They'll get the objective afterwards, too. Summit went for it. He trades. Yes, it's 1 for 1, but it also earns them the dragon.
It does indeed. You hear the chants of the crowd feeding into Team Liquid's advantage here.
And then Pyosik, even with that stun onto Hauntzer into the wall, grabbing the extra kill through the river, plus being able to get the dragon. Team Liquid, it's all according to their game plan. I love teams that want to play into Rift Herald side of the map, because I feel like that is more relatable to solo queue players. You know, focusing on gold early on.
We don't know how to put 4 together for dragons, all right?
Anyways, there's the 1 for 1 for Summit, and then Hauntzer's still by dragon. So if you look at the bottom of the screen, thank you observers, in the replay, while Summit goes for the 1 for 1, TL get the extra kill, Pyosik able to get the knock into the wall, Hauntzer can't get away from the dragon, and that allows Team Liquid to get the objective afterwards. So guess what? While you did give up your first 2 early dragons to TSM, you invested so much into getting the kills, getting the Rift Heralds for all the gold lead, that you can win the later dragon fights, not have to worry about that dragon soul. And Team Liquid, they already coming into this game had the highest Rift Herald percentage of any LCS team at 85%.
Jeez.
First Rift Herald control. Plus, they got the one this time around, so just going to further
percentages going up. The
yeah.
stonks going up for the Rift Herald there specifically. I think also in this, you see that Bugi and TSM, they are constantly trying to catch Summit out in the side lane. Any overextension can be punished, but he's going to be even more slippery as time goes on. And it's going to be something where it's going to be a back and forth between them as we see pressure that had already been established in top lanes pressured even more for Team Liquid.
And now you've got so many options here for TL because of the massive gold lead and because of your... never mind!
Goodness, there's that miasma, but look, the light switch has come through. They're under tower right now, but the Moonlight Vigil from Yeon might make a difference. Bugi gets him back, and Pyosik, he's caught out here. The slowdown is there. They're going to take him out. Pyosik gets gunned down, and WildTurtle comes up big.
So I don't know if you've experienced one of the Team Liquid mid or late game throws yet.
Yeah,
but now you can experience one firsthand. Maybe that's a little baby throw, but
just a little way. We're getting the passing going, right?
Exactly.
Like making sure that everybody's warmed up and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, a 4,000 gold lead. I feel like we're getting a little bit of deja vu from our first series of the day. But we will have Team Liquid getting caught up a little bit in the decision-making process.
I mean, I still love it because anytime you can make a play off a super blast cone like that, they're so fun to watch. Maybe it's like, yeah, I'll go with the blast cone under tower. They're trying to assassinate a turtle. It is a mini throw, you know, and they give up a couple of lives here. Pyosik as well as APA go down, but it was fun. You know,
fun. Gotta keep our energy going. All right, they gotta throw us a curveball every now and then.
Yeehaw!
As it is actually a push to the side lane for Hauntzer, and no matter what you say, he plays weak side. He got pushed in early. He lost 2 towers early, Kobe, but he will still be there. He is the rock, and now he's going to be scaling up for his team as well, and a lot of the primary engage for his team going forward.
Yeah, for sure. The Ornn ultimate is going to be a critical part here for TSM. We saw earlier how effective a full dive team can be, and TSM are definitely a full dive squad here. They can look for pick-off on side lanes if Team Liquid are split, but currently Team Liquid are not split. They are pushing into your jungle.
Got the paranoia pop there just to try to help out WildTurtle a little bit. Not going to go for it.
And Hauntzer does have teleport, but Hauntzer would love to finish that bottom side turret first. So Team Liquid are going to try and force the teleport out of Hauntzer by starting up Baron. And TSM just want to buy him some time down there. He can't finish the turret, but he is going to join.
They're going to pull off immediately as the TP came through, realizing they just wanted to pull the bait.
If that actually died to minions, that would have been such a magnificent play from Team Liquid too, because the local gold for the outer turrets is a substantial portion of it. So if you could draw the teleport away and then that had died to minions, a tiny bit more minion damage, would have been a true 5-head play there from Team Liquid on the timings to be able to deny that little bit of local gold. But TSM, they are in the end still forced to use that teleport from Hauntzer, so pretty big cooldown. Not going to be available for them. We'll see about the setup on next dragon. It's only 50 seconds away. It's also not the most critical dragon.
Yeah.
This is just a Chem Drake, and it's just going to be soul point possibility. Plus,
it ain't no Hex Drake or Infernal, all right? That's what we're thinking about here. But
true.
Particularly, a lot of the season has been a very up and down ride for TSM, I feel like. We've had a lot of recent success as well, but Chime specifically credits a lot of that tenacity to the veteran callers, right? Especially looking at Hauntzer and WildTurtle specifically to kind of guide them in their bloody style, right? He says that Bugi and him love to be bloody, they love to fight, but it's being kind of drawn back by the veterancy on TSM. And it's actually maybe something that can play out in this game. That veterancy could be key as they're trying to find a pick out here. That Keeper's Verdict will make it an uneven fight. And APA gets taken down under tower by Insanity, getting a little bit of revenge there as re-engage from CoreJJ was a little bit wide, but Insanity has to flash out. Here comes Hauntzer. See the knock-up onto Yeon. He does connect it, but then there will be no follow-up. Meanwhile, at the base, Summit is onto your inhib tower and top side.
Yeah, Summit's going to finish up with this inhibitor turret up here, but I still like the play from TSM. They're on the back foot. They make the aggressive play while sacrificing their top side of the map. They get themselves to Dragon Soul points. They get a bunch of gold back for themselves. Insanity ulting here on Kaisa past APA's ulti and past the miasma. They got the local gold. Okay, whoa. Now it's going to be too high of a cost, though. Now it's too high of a cost.
You're looking for a delay of payment here for a TSM. You don't want to have to pay this tax, and it will end up being the Red Bull Baron buff for Team Liquid.
All right, that's too high of a price to pay. TSM going to try and get something else, but Team Liquid are coming to collapse.
Oh, see a little bit of, Hauntzer going to go straight to the wall. Not going to get the tower. Is it the minions this time? Hey, all right, TSM will take that outer tower there. Pyosik will be forced to back away from the mid lane.
All right, so Team Liquid, they do end up getting the Baron. Let's see how much they can push with this. With topside already being exposed, you can just rotate your LeBlanc down to the bottom side of the map. There's an outer turret standing there as Summit is looking for damage rather than split pushing numbers here. There you go. Now down to the bottom side. Thank you very much, Summit. Back to objectives here for Team Liquid. Now, get that bottom side turret for yourselves with this extra Baron power and see how much you can really squeeze out of TSM in payment for the Dragon, because That dragon now does put them to soul point. It does make you think twice here. And TSM shown in that last play on bottom side, they are very willing to make the full all-in dive play. Bugi makes the call, goes in Nocturne, and Kaisa follows up. Insanity, a nice ultimate pass in there to get a little something for themselves. But looks like it is going to be 2 here at least for Team Liquid, and still pushing on the bottom side.
That's the thing with this pick, though. This will be the bread and butter of the Summit LeBlanc, but it's all about the team fight afterwards and how you try to find an influence there.
And the Lichbane, I love the follow-up here. He just melts these turrets with the Lichbane, level 16 LeBlanc. Now he's coming to harass and move through. They're just going to keep on powering through turrets. Here goes the dive.
There, got the light switch and the Ornn horn. They get the double knock up there. That's actually pretty big. You got to look on the other side, though. Summit is coming over to try to join in. Yeon has already found 2. He's looking for more as the ADC for TL steps up to the plate and says, I'm here too, guys.
Yeah, Yeon. Oh,
the snipe! Insanity with the no-scope snipe!
From downtown, he does not let Pyosik get out alive. TSM still draw one back. What an exciting little team fight, though. Yeon's able to flash the frog at the end because nobody's focusing on this Aphelios. He kind of mows them down, but his teammates did get so low. Here's another look at it. Everybody's going after the Cassiopeia. Ornn ult through him. Bugi's on him with a Nocturne ultimate into the fear, into the knockup, and they get him low, but not enough. And TSM here feel like, oh no, we've just been crushed. Till Insanity, the Ray of Hope, snipes through 2 members.
My goodness!
And it's a Baron-powered recall, too.
It is! What timing and what step up from Insanity here coming into this, right? He was excited to face off against APA, somebody he knows so well, but the fact that we're getting influence from both of these guys, it's just awesome.
Right through the goalpost there, but we did see how much TSM threw at the dive onto APA. They had everything. Ornn ultimate, Nocturne dive, into fear, into charm, knock-up from Chime to try and take him down, and Team Liquid were able to defend him. They kept APA alive while Yeon cuts down the rest of the diving TSM, and they're right back at it.
I will say they are barreling down the base right now. We also have 3 items completed for a majority of members here and a lot of strength in the siege. It will just stop at the inhib turrets, though. They have that open one on top side, but right now they're trying to break down a lot more of the defensive structures of TSM.
Remember, pretty big rewards if Team Liquid can finish this game. Locking playoffs, really on an upswing here with APA being in. TSM, meanwhile, I mean, Team Liquid even gave them a shout out to Ruby. And they're like, hey, part of the reason you're lagging behind is because you had that stop off from Ruby. If you didn't see the game intro from Team Liquid, again, they've been bringing the content, but looks like they've got the good upper hand positioning in this one. Should get a reset here from APA. He is now level 16 as well.
See, as we're starting to position around this dragon, we got 30 seconds till that spawns. Would be soul for TSM. As APA will TP to mid lane. Team Liquid are looking to be first, more at least than TSM. I don't know if they can actually contest this going through. They will try to get in front of the dragon pit while TSM wraps around as 5.
Poke from Insanity here again. Definitely dangerous. He hit Yeon with the first one.
He has the Ludens now too, and I believe it just got upgraded, so a little bit of extra oomph behind it.
Yep. See if they can keep it up, though. This dragon means a lot for TSM. Mostly a denial here on the side of TL. Yeon got hit with another one.
Hey, we'll miss that next one. The Keeper's Verdict has gone through. Here is the call of the Forge God. Dragon goes over to Team Liquid. We'll see Hauntzer actually caught out here. There's the light switch. Bugi trying to find backline access. Just goes for the kills here. He's on it. He gets one on core as TSM. They're taking the fight in the pit. It's like shooting fish in the barrel here. Oh, petrifying gaze for APA. Look at that damage. You wanted him to pop off, and he's popping off here. He's trying to get that, though. He's 1v4 now. Can he do it? He doesn't have any tools left. He wants more. He wants it. He needs it. He can get flash out. APA, is he going to make it happen? He doesn't have the damage here. He's kiting, but he kites into the abyss as an ace for TSM.
And TSM TSM take down Team Liquid. They may have lost the dragon, but they completely decimated the health bar of CoreJJ while TL are taking down this dragon. TSM constantly poking through, making the call to look for the fight, not risk everything for this dragon steal, and it pays huge dividends for them. Even though they reject the Rakan here with the Poppy ultimate, look at CoreJJ. Hauntzer nails him against the wall. He's basically out of the fight. No HP, jump already used, so Bugi goes in. Turtle is pelting the front line here, forces Pyosik out, forces APA back, and TSM get the rest of the kills inside Baron Pit. So even with the big ultimate from Cassiopeia, TSM,
we got the carousel turning right now. TSM don't want off this ride as they're trying to take the fight back. You got Pyosik going forward. It's just going to be a bit of a bait and switch here, but Team Liquid, they're feeling antsy. And they're feeling like their backs are starting to turn on the wall.
We've had some pretty banger games here.
I'd say so. I'd say, audience, are you not entertained? We have bangers here all day long.
TSM, the team currently down over 3,000 gold with the big team fight victory over TL by Dragon Pit. They're going to have another one in them if they want this game, though.
They will have to make sure they're crossing their T's, dotting their I's, but that all starts with a big B at the Baron. Got TSM looking for an engaged Summit, just trying to get as much poke in as he can. 4,000 health on the Baron. Ornn has been called. It will be TL backing off, 3-man knock up there, but nothing to follow up on. As Insanity actually wants Summit. Summit flashes early there. The Baron ends up going down to Team Liquid.
Yeah, can they get out here? TSM trying to catch something through River. Looks like...
Oh! Insanity goes godlike with yet another snipe. I feel like he's playing Call of Duty out here.
Meanwhile, Summit went mid with the Baron buff, pushes up the minion wave, so TSM don't have anything to really push on here, and the Baron empowered recall will let him get out as well. Only the one kill over here for TSM after a strong Baron from Team Liquid. Nice little spread from them. They're making use of Summit on this LeBlanc. Really, really annoying harassment from Summit up here behind the Baron Pit, going in with that Lich Bane burst, Static Shiv, Night Harvester proc.
Yeah, I will say though, that's where some of this hesitancy is coming from, because you see in the team fights, Hauntzer is able to set up for the team every time. You see a lot of the cohesion going in to dive onto that target, whereas Summit's just going to have to find ways to pick apart the backline and find access to the backline.
And while Summit is harassing you on the flanks and keeping you back from the engaged, you've got a Cassiopeia here scaling up in the mid lane, burning down. Huge single target DPS, and so much so that he's now going for the gargoyles, the defensive extra shield here for APA on the Cassio, and they're going to go for the pick.
They're going for Summit. This has been a pick all day long, waiting in the wings, and they should be able to catch him out with the assistance of WildTurtle. Although he's buying a lot of time here, he will end up going back and just dying to Chime in the end.
Well, Ignite does get the last tick here. Fortunately for Team Liquid, the timing of that isolated death being added to Summit's count doesn't mean there's any real objectives for TSM to take afterwards, but it does pause the push of Team Liquid. So big pick there from TSM just to stall out on that Baron push from Team Liquid.
We just got fourth item there completed for Insanity as well. He will have the Zanyas, so pretty big interest coming into getting close to full items, as we're still waiting on that scaling to really come online for APA. You do have 3 items for Yeon, so I feel like that's when Aphelios can just really shred with that Lord Doms. But now it's about taking team fight versus for TSM versus trying to pick apart fights for Team Liquid.
And I feel like it's going to just get so difficult for TSM to crack the team fight of Team Liquid. Once APA gets his gargoyles finished and has that extra big shield for the Cassio, standing at the middle with already having to deal with the defensive ultimates and getting through the Poppy, I think the poke really is going to be what has to turn the tide for TSM, if anything is going to do it. Insanity here has been doing a lot of work so far with the Kaisa poke. They're going to need a bit more of that magic.
And this is a guy, Insanity, who literally was the chef in terms of picks, in terms of drafts, it felt like, on his previous teams. And maybe getting a little bit of that back from APA here. It will be the Dragon burn down here. It actually goes over to TSM as they secure the soul. I can't believe they just got that. Re-engage from TSM, and Yeon is completely caught out, left in the dust. You got a Petrifying Gaze, that's pretty big. APA blocking away. Let's see if the scaling has come online as Summit's putting in some damage here, and it's a catch out from Team Liquid. They are gritty, they are tenacious, and they will stay triumphant in the moment.
Oh my, Insanity got the Dragon Soul for TSM. This man does so much work for this team. Let's take a look.
How does he get it?
It's no way. Okay, auto in the beginning of the queue goes out.
The caffeine rain.
Insanity, the TSM mid laner, getting the Dragon Soul for them. Even though they lose the extra one, they got the soul. They get the big objective. Let's see if that actually turns the tides here. And, you know, wow, Hauntzer is very tanky, still ends up going down. So TL will get 2 for 1 in the kills. But now TSM, the early dragons finally pay off. And they've been down gold in basically this whole game. This entire time. And yet they're still pulling out so many fights. Insanity. Why was he ever benched? This man is putting in so much work.
Man, you got to give shout out to David Shaw, and especially the fact that this man is able to come in, present such a strength in mid lane, still play some of his cook picks and be able to bring out some of the flexibility in the Kaisa. But this is a guy who doesn't stop thinking about ways to up in the game, right? The biggest combo I feel like we ever got in an ACL in Challengers was him with Diamond, because the way they think about the game is so intense. And the fact that he has been a big voice to TSM here in this recently is big.
Okay, he is Rakan.
He is Rakan.
Most mobile support definitely always has an out. So a little face check here, no harm. Now it's going to be the 4-1 split push for TSM. Hauntzer teleport ready, Ornn on bottom side. He's fully scaled up. You know, you're getting that full Ornn value, handing out all the upgrades on all the items there for TSM. Their late game plan is now in full effect. They've got the soul, they've got the Ornn upgrades. Can they close versus TSM? This clash of the North American mid laners subbing in really is delivering.
Truly is, and wouldn't want it any other way as well. As we're going to have a very contested end. Again, we cannot stop iterating how important this game is for both these teams. We're getting close to the end of the LCS split. Team Liquid, again, with a win here, do lock in those summer playoffs, while TSM on the other side, yes, it's not locking in, but they want to get a tie and at least a playoff potential there with the tiebreakers locked in if they win.
Yeah, and TSM with Insanity have looked like one of the top teams in LCS. No doubts about it. Hauntzer face checks Summit. And he's a little scared, so he's going to teleport up towards the Baron. Doesn't want to get caught down there away from the objective. And TSM, now they've got the numbers advantage until Summit teleports. Summit's going to go for the hard push, though. TL, I like this call. They keep Summit pushing. With the Shiv, he pushes really quickly. So TSM, they lose their teleport, and they have to deal with bottom side push.
And they're actually deciding from here on out, it's been a while since they did, but it's Insanity that has to answer towards Summit every time now. We do not see Hauntzer going that way, so a little bit of swap in the 4-on in the mid lane. We do see TL wanting to pull the hand of TSM into the Baron fight.
And it's going to be an answer from Insanity. His teleport quickly comes through. They know there's so much damage right now. Baron will melt.
It's already melting as the Prey Seeker goes a little bit wide. That cooldown is going to be pretty long. Chime, that is a big moment. If Summit goes on the other side, though, there it is. Ornn coming across. Chime looking for the big area and entrance. They do get one, though, as they are trying to catch out Bugi. He's completely separated from the rest of the team. And Team Liquid, they're getting pushed off the fight now as they bought so much time. Insanity steps up, and Insanity gets a double kill. He's looking for more, and that's a clean ace for TSM.
They're still down in gold, but TSM ace Team Liquid.
Quadra kill for the man in the mid lane. You got a little be insano in the membrane if you're gonna step to Insanity.
Oh my goodness. Can they end the game while down in gold still? TSM clean ace. Nobody drops. They're gonna do it.
This man is 12-2 on a Kaisa against APA, the man who has silenced all the doubters so far, and Insanity goes, you cannot forget about me. This is gonna be a game finish from TSM, and they will guarantee a play-in at least, trying to get that tiebreaker in the future. And congratulations, TSM, for a hard-fought victory.
This squad put together in the offseason, bringing back the TSM vets, Hauntzer and Turtle, and pairing them with fresh new North American talent and Insanity in the mid lane. Really, really great stuff to see. Chime as well. So much work been put in. Nice to see the success.
And now it's time to check in on our medal ceremony and our Verizon post-game interview.
Here we have the Verizon post-game medal ceremony. First up is Jason WildTurtle Tran representing Canada, receiving the bronze medal. Over here we also have representing Canada, Chime, for his excellent Rakan. And then, of course, this is his 4th Player of the Game gold medal received in season. He's recently coming off a Player of the Week. And now we are going to stand by with an interview with these medalists.